Starting a business in Singapore sounds sexy and scary at the same time because while you can potentially whack big, you will also need to deal with all the tedious admin work with starting a business. And when I was trying to register a business back then, I couldn't find an easy guide as to what I should do. That's why I decided to create this video to give you an easy to follow, quick step-by-step guide as to how you can start a business in Singapore. I'll be talking about stuff like which business structure should you choose, how to choose your company name, registering a company address, and finally, registering your business. Also, a huge thank you to Awesome for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. First up, if you are planning to start a business to earn tons of money, you will need to register your business. Though, there are two situations where you don't have to register. One, you don't have to register if you are conducting your business using your full name as reflected in your NRIC. Or two, if you are working with one or more partners who's using their full names as reflected in their NRICs. So, for example, if you are a tuition teacher or a Grab driver who's earning money using your own name, you don't have to register your business. But if you want to use a name like Xiaoming Teach Tuition or Cai Fan Huat Big, then you need to register your business. But nevertheless, it's usually better to register for a business as it will be easier for other people to search and verify that your business is legit. And you will also gain access to government grants. So let's talk about the 5 business types that you can register for. First, sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship is a business that's owned by one person. This is for people who want to do business by themselves without any business partners and is not planning to take any outside investments. So it's good for small businesses like hawker stores, cafes, or tuition centers. The one downside of this is that your business is seen as the same legal entity as you. This means all the business liability is also your liability. So, for example, if someone eats fufu, nothing better to do, come and sue your business, you'll be the one who gets sued. Or if you go and borrow money using the business name and cannot pay back, the bank will come after you, not the business. The term for this is unlimited liability, where all the business taiji is your taiji. And also, because your business is seen as the same legal entity as you, any profits that the business earns is counted as your personal income and taxed at the personal tax rate. The second type of business is called partnership. Partnership is a business that's owned by at least 2 people all the way to 20 people. Don't know why you need so many partners, but okay can. Other than the number of owners, partnership is very similar to a sole proprietorship, where the profits are taxed at the partner's personal income tax rate and you have unlimited liability, where the company's liability is your liability. But the problem with partnership is that now you are also liable for what your partner does. If your partner go and borrow money using the company's name, now you are also liable for the debt. So in most cases, partnership is not an attractive choice. So that brings me to the second kind of partnership, limited partnership. Similarly, limited partnership requires at least 2 people and there's no maximum partners that you can have. But the difference here is that for limited partnership, you will need at least 1 general partner and at least 1 limited partner. What general? What limited? Okay, this image by Wall Street Mojo explains it best. Let's say you start a cafe, you are the boss, the guy who's running the business. So, you are the general partner. Then you find another guy to invest in your business. He's only investing his money and does nothing else. In that case, he's a limited partner. So, for the general partner, the guy who's running the business, he will have unlimited liability. And for the limited partner, he's only an investor, so his liability is limited. It's kind of like how we are investing into a company. We are considered as limited partners. So anything that happens to the company is not our problem. At most, we will only lose the money that we invested in the company. For limited partnerships, the profits are split based on a stake in the company and are taxed at the individual level. So, for example, let's say you own 50% of the business and the business makes 100k, then 50k of the profit will belong to you and you will kena a personal income tax of 50k. So that's limited partnership. Then there's also the third kind of partnership, limited liability partnership. Wow, so many kinds of partnership. But LLP is the best kind of partnership out of the three. Here's why. First, LLP is seen as a separate legal entity from its partners. So if someone sues the company, or the company owes money, or the company loses money, you will not be personally liable for that. Second, if your partner does something wrong, you also won't be liable for them. They borrow money, owe money, not your problem. They get sued, not your problem also. Own self problem, own self settle. As for taxes, it's similar to the other partnerships. The profits are taxed at the personal income tax level based on what's your stake in the company. Lastly, private limited company. This is the most common type of business that you see everywhere. A private limited company can be owned by 1 to 50 people, and it's like what you see on TV. A company has shares. You can issue shares to get investments or to transfer the shares to someone else. But the most important part is that it is a separate legal entity, meaning all the debts and losses incurred by the company is the company's problem, and no one will be personally liable for that. As for taxes, the profits will be taxed at the corporate tax rate, which is a flat 17% no matter what. One small downside of a private limited is that there's a bit more work to do. You need to appoint a company director, which can be yourself if you are a Singapore resident, a company secretary, and an auditor to do stuff like file annual returns and do annual general meetings. Don't worry, I will talk about this later. It's not as scary as it sounds, yeah. But let's summarize this. If you are planning to run a business under your own name, you don't have to register for a business. If you want to use a company name, you can either use a sole proprietorship or private limited. Though I would also say it depends on how much money the business will be earning every year. That's because the corporate tax rate is just a flat 17%, while the personal income tax rate can go all the way up to 24%. So if you think you would be earning more than 200k a year, it would be cheaper to go for a private limited instead. And if there's more than one owner, you can go for one of the three partnership types or a private limited, depending on what you need. If you need more details, you can just refer to this chart by Accra, which I will link down in the description below, yeah? Alright, the next step is to come up with a business name. You are free to choose the name that you want. But of course, don't use stupid names like vulgar names and offensive names, yeah? You also can't use prohibited names like Temasek. Next, you will need to go to Accra to check whether the name is available or not. For example, you can't choose Bread Talk. So maybe you can choose other names like Bread Shops or Bread What Big Big. Once you have decided on a name, you will need to head to Accra to register your business name. To do that, go to BizFile, then depending on your business type, you will need to click on a different link. For example, if it's a private limited, then you click application for a new company name. Or if it's sole proprietorship or partnership, you click application for a new business name and so on. Let's try application for a new business name. Here, fill in the company name. For business activity, you will need to choose the activity that's most relevant to your business. For example, if you are selling breads, you can search for bread, and the activity will be manufacture of bread, cakes, and confectionery. Then, if you are also doing something else, then you can fill in the secondary activity, like maybe selling baking utensils. Once you are done, add at least one owner to the business, then submit. You will need to pay $15 to register the business name. It will usually be instantly approved. But if it's a name that needs to be reviewed, like legal or law, then it will take between 2 weeks to 2 months to be approved. Once the name is approved, the name will be reserved for 120 days. So you will need to register your business within this period. Otherwise, the name will be made available to other people. The next step is to get your company address. If your business is a sole proprietorship, partnership, or limited partnership, you can use your residential address as the business address. Though, you will need to seek approval from HDB or URA. And for private limited and LLPs, you will need to use a registered office address. This is a place where all communications and notices to the company may be addressed, and the place where the company's register and records are kept. The registered office needs to be operational and accessible during normal office hours, but don't have to be where the company is conducting its business. And finally, all business owners also need to provide their residential address to Accra. And suddenly, everyone will know where you stay because the addresses are made public. So if you don't want that, you can use an alternate address for $40. And that's what I've personally done. I use something called a virtual office, where they will give you a business address and communication services. The cheapest options are usually around $4 to $5 a month. But if you need additional services like meeting rooms, office rooms, and call forwarding, you will need to pay a bit more. The final step is to register your business. To do that, just head over to BizFile. For sole proprietorship and all the partnerships, the fee for 1 year registration is $115, but it's cheaper to go for the 3-year registration, which costs $175. This will include the $15 business name application fee. And for private limited, it will be a $315 registration fee. Applications are processed within 15 minutes. But again, if the business needs to be reviewed, like if you are setting up a school, it can take anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months to be approved. So once you are done, you will receive your company's unique entity number, or UEN, where it's like an NRIC for your business. Okay, for most business, you'll be done here. But for private limited, you need to do one extra step, which is to appoint an auditor and a secretary. And no, it doesn't have to be a full-time employee. You can actually outsource the work to another company for a low fee. And one of them is Awesome. The good thing about Awesome is that it provides secretary and accounting services to help you take care of all your company's finance staff, admin staff, and remind you to file company reports. Awesome also has a useful app where you can manage your payments and invoices all in one place, so that you can spend more time on things that matter, like building your business. As a bonus, if you choose one of their packages, they will also help to incorporate your business for free. So if you're looking to start a company today, you can check out the link in the description below to get a free incorporation plus a 16% off your first year with Awesome. That's how to register your business from start to finish. If you have any further questions, you can join my fast-growing Telegram group to ask me and other members any questions that you may have. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hopefully, you find it useful. Like, share, and subscribe, as I'll be posting new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.